And we are live. What's up, everybody? Rockin Robbie here for Pop Culture Philosophers live streaming tonight. Here with you on a Sunday evening. We're going to be talking about comic books, pop culture, movies, all that kind of stuff. We're going to have a good time. So once people start coming in, let me know that you're here and we'll get to chatting. Usually we start off by looking up at the upcoming comic book releases. Here, go lay down. So that's what we got going on. Hey, we got a few people in here now. Who's all in here? Any members of the PCP Army? Lay down. Lay down here. Any members of the PCP Army in here? We're going to be talking about comic books tonight. First, we're going to look at the Image comics coming out this week. But we're going to be talking about all kinds of stuff tonight, guys. Comic books, movies, pop culture is what we do here at Pop Culture Philosophers. So let me know who's in here. Start chatting. You guys can hear me, right? All right, so we got Analog is coming out from Image Comics. Analog has been, yo, what's up, David? Demetrios, how are you guys doing? What's up, Gene Paul? Gene Paul Ace Peter. Gene Paul Ace Peter, that's Kiss. Oh, I'm so silly. What's up, everybody? We're going to start off by looking at the upcoming Image comics because last week I totally neglected to go over any of the upcoming Image comics. Completely forgot about it. Completely. David, you just got a job managing a comic shop? It's the coolest job ever, is it not? Congratulations. What's up, Lance? What's up, L-Dubs? We got L.W. Allen here from Dance Panda Comics. Be sure to check them out at dancepandacomics.com. You can check out lots of cool books like Fourth Life, The Madre, and one of my favorites, Black Spec. David, that's awesome. Congrats. It's the coolest job ever. It really, really is. Aside from talking about comic books on YouTube, that one's pretty cool too. But that's more of a passion. Well, they're both passions. Comic books is just a passion. Analog is out this week. That's the Gary Duggan book. I really was impressed with the first two issues of that, so I'm very much looking forward to the next issue of that, the next two, or the next whatever issues. But especially this issue. It's a cool kind of like, I don't know, it's a cool like take. I guess the idea is that, I don't know, it's kind of convoluted. It's basically they broke the internet to kind of like get rid of it and now privacy and all that. It's really, really cool. Yeah, Analog's good. What's up, David? Thank you for the kind words. Hey, Bloodstrike #0 is out this week, guys, with a Rob Liefeld cover B, so be on the lookout for that. Should I read that? Should I read that? Copperhead #19. Copperhead is a fantastic comic book that has never let me down. It's a nice, fun, sci-fi Western type thing from Jay Farber and Image. It's great. Copperhead is out this week. Dead Hand #3. Dead Hand has been very, very impressive to me. That's the Kyle Higgins book, kind of like Cold War spy type stuff, but with a really neat twist, which is really cool to me. Fans of Nick Spencer and The Fix, rejoice. Issue 12 is out this week. Can you believe it? Can you believe that? Third printings of Isola #1 and a second printing of Isola #2. That book is amazing with the most beautiful art I've seen in comic book in the last few months. Like, seriously, it's great stuff. If you haven't checked out Isola or Isola, however you pronounce it, that's a good one. Kick-Ass #5 is out this week. Dun, 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 dun. Yes, I am still reading Port of Earth. I love that book. I'm very much enjoying that. They're only one issue into the second arc, though, right? Magic Order #1 is out this week, guys. This new Mark Miller book with Oliver Coipel. I'm looking forward to that one for sure. Is that the first one that's kind of like of the Netflix? I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about there. There's a new issue of Monsters for those that follow that. A new issue of Oblivion Song. That's crazy. And yes, I guess we talked about Port of Earth because it is out this week. Issue 6 of Port of Earth is out this week. A new one called Proxima Centauri. It doesn't seem to be about the sun, but I'm sure it's about something like that. Or the star. Stellar #1. That's a new one coming out. That's from, I can't read those names. Looks like Joseph Keatage. So that's interesting. The Weatherman #1 is out this week. I checked that one out. That's really weird. I'm looking forward to reading it again and talking about it. And Witchblade. That's what Image Comics are coming out this week. Now let me look at some of y'all's comments. Hey, what's up, Stephanie? Let's see. She's been reading Fix, and it's been a delight, very lighthearted and crude. Okay. David Crone also likes that one. Oh, you don't like Port of Earth? It's not the most exciting story, but I really do like it. It needs to get going like quicker though, but I like it so far. Yeah, Oblivion Song is on issue number 4 this week. Good stuff. Spoilers, Stephanie. So that's what we got image-wise. I'm most excited for Copperhead, Weatherman, and what was that Mark Miller book? Magic Order. That's right. Let's look at Dark Horse just in case. You never know, right? What's your favorite Dark Horse book? Mine's like the Hellboy stuff. I love that stuff. They got some really good stuff, though. Black Hammer's Dark Horse, obviously. We got a new BPRD book this week. We got Hellboy, The Complete Short Stories, Volume 1. That new trade paperback is out. That's going to be a really nifty collection. Yeah, not much from them. We'll go to IDW. IDW, 30 Days of Night, Back to the Future, Time Train. Books I don't read. DuckTales, woohoo. Nothing really of note from IDW. But let's look at DC. But before we get to DC, let's just chat for a while, guys. So, what the artist for Oblivion Song is? Oh man, I don't know off the top of my head. Something's saying like Lorenzo Felicini or something like that. Felici, something like that. Harrow County is a good one from Dark Horse. I have only read like the first 7 or 8 issues of that. I definitely need to get to it. It is coming to an ending very, very soon. So it seems like a good one to kind of sit for like a week or two and read that one and check it out. Lately, I have been reading some Star Wars comics. I've been reading Knights of the Old Republic for the first time ever. I don't know. I really like those Marvel Epic collections. I mentioned this in the PCP Army. I made a post about it. I was very impressed with the first book of that. Like the first like 12 or so issues of Knights of the Old Republic were really engaging. I really like the world that was built. It's set like millennia before Episode 1. So it's right after like this great Sith War and this Mandalorian War with the Old Republic is starting. I really like that one so far. It fell out in a little bit. I read the first Epic collection, which is the Old Republic Volume 1 from Marvel. It's like the first 18 issues. It kind of got a little weaker at the end of it, but I was very impressed with that. You know, I never used to give a lot of the Dark Horse Star Wars books back in the day. I guess this one's like in the mid-aughties or whatever, but like in the 90s and in the 2000s, never really gave too much of them a chance. So I'm excited to go through and kind of read them and understand more of that expanded universe for Star Wars in the comics that is now not canon, nor does it count. But I mean, come on, who cares? A good story is a good story. I do not remember the creator. Okay, I know the artist. Okay, so the artist is Brian Ching, I believe, but sometimes Dustin Weaver was on it, which I found was really cool. Dustin Weaver from Jonathan Hickman's Shield, some of his Avengers work. So it was really cool to see Dustin Weaver do some issues. I like his issues a lot. The Ching artwork, it felt cluttered at first, but as I got into it, I really, really appreciate the way that he presents that world and those characters. It's very strong and it's very nice, striking lines, and I like it. But it's got just enough detail into it. And also helped me remember that comic books used to have a whole lot more detail in the background than they do now. Do you guys remember that? But I've been liking it. I mean, it's not the greatest thing ever, but the first 12 issues, the first 6 issues really blew me away. And then they did some issues that were really solid. And then the way the first Epic collection ends was a little weak, mostly though because of like the core group of people. And it's cool because you got your Jedi or your Padawan, and you've got your like scoundrel who is like this like, you know, this like he's this the evil like crime boss, like conniving kind of little twerp kind of guy. And then you got this whole like crew of characters, and it's really interesting. I liked it. I was very impressed with it. I'm actually really looking forward to reading the first one of Rise of the Sith, because it has a bunch of those Phantom Menace one-shots and books that Dark Horse did when that movie was about to come out. And seriously, one of the best times of my life, pop culture-wise, was the lead up into Episode 1. As ultimately kind of disappointing Ultimate 1 has become, like the lead up to it, it was such a joy to be a part of. That was the year I graduated high school. It was just a really fun, crazy year. I went to Taco Bell. I collected up all the toys, all the posters. I was a Darth Maul fanatic the first time I laid eyes on him, and it was insane. The whole build up to that. So I'm excited to reread some of that stuff, as odd as that may seem. What are your favorite Star Wars books? Legacy's really good. I've read that, and that one is really, really solid. Marvel's doing some great stuff right now, though. Well, Bloodstrike #0, I guess, is going to be kind of like a reboot, relaunch of the Bloodstrike characters, or Bloodstrike book that Rob Liefeld did for Image back in the day. And I'll admit, if you look at my comics that I had when I was, a young adolescent in the early 90s, I have some Brigade and some Bloodstrike in there. So I'll check it out. I'll let you guys know if it's any good. So be on the lookout for that. L Dubs wants to know if I ever get home after a few days and the house smells stale. Yeah, if it's been a few days, it will smell stale and like cat shit. Yeah, Stephen, there's a lot of blurred shapes in the backgrounds, and there's also just a lot of empty backgrounds now. But I don't know. I think the coloring nowadays is really kind of picking up that slack. And I know that back in the day, I think that a lot of these artists had people, especially their inkers, would fill in some of the background detail for them. And they would also have people that would get uncredited roles where they would fill in for the background. I personally know people who have worked on comic books uncredited to help out with things like background and detail, things like that, to keep the books on time. Exactly, David, or solid color, stuff like that. It can be striking at times, and also at times it can just feel lazy. But overall, I think the state of comic book art is really strong right now. But I don't think that they really focus as much on the backgrounds and the perspective and things like that. Especially one of the greatest things about those Jack Kirby, John Romita Marvel days and Steve Ditko and all those guys and John Buscema was the perspective that they would have on those cityscapes was incredibly amazing. What's up, Robert? I have been reading Gideon Falls and Infidel, and I love both of them. They are the two strongest horror comics on the market right now, and I love them so much. Just saw a mashup of Mark Hamill's feelings on the new Star Wars films. I don't know. Who cares about that? Who cares? Just you should care about your feelings, right? How do you feel? I overall like the new Star Wars films. I really, really do. That's just me, though. Everybody has their opinion, though. Yeah, I've heard a lot of stuff about Mark Hamill. I'm not going to call him Mark like I know him. I've never met the guy, but I've heard a lot of stuff about how at first he was kind of wary of it and didn't really agree with it, but that he kind of understood what they were trying to do. I just think that what the creators were doing was that they didn't want to do a typical, very obvious cliched story where he leaps back into action and comes to save the day and has a heroic sacrifice. I think they wanted to give it some drama. I think they really wanted to flesh out this character because there were decades of this character's life that we don't know about. And I just think they really wanted to kind of like flesh it out and tell a more layered adult story with it. And whether or not, they succeeded, that's up to us individually. But I really do like Last Jedi. That's just me, though. What's up, Ruben? How you doing? Infidel is great, is it not? It is so atmospheric, but it's so effective as a horror comic. Like most horror comics, what you're really looking for is atmosphere and a nice pace to it, right? But these ones, like Infidel, actually gets creepy and scares you. And for a comic book, that's not the easiest thing to do. So I highly applaud the creators of Infidel. That book is amazing. And I love the idea of this like incredibly xenophobic, racist tension becoming like this malevolent spirit. I just think it's really cool and striking. And it's going to make a really good TV series or a movie one day. Yeah, David, I would agree with you. I think art is better than ever today. Seriously, you have the fall of the inker, but you got the rise of the colorist, and the coloring is so important in comic books today. And like it just makes the images so much more rich and just full and detailed, and a lot of what we're liking in the art nowadays, of course, the line work, the initial design and composition, that's incredibly important. But the coloring is adding so many levels to the just why comic book art is just exceeding so well today. You got people like Jordi Belair, Matt Wilson, Dave Stewart's been doing it for a long time. Matt Hollingsworth's been doing it for a long time. Got a lot of people coming up right now. They're doing amazing work. Jason Wordy, just doing fantastic stuff, coloring and just being so prolific and having so much of it out. I'm like, hats off to these creators because they're doing such an amazing job nowadays. Who are your favorite colorists right now? If I had to pick one right now, it's Jordi Belair. Jordi Belair. Matt Wilson's up there too. He really is. And Dave Stewart's like the greatest of all time to me. So I almost don't even think it's fair to put him in that equation. Lloyd, what's up, buddy? My opinion on the new direction of Marvel is, I think, is pretty awesome. So far, everything from Fresh Start, not everything, and we can't expect every single book in a line from a company to be the greatest ever. But so far, and we're still very early, Fresh Start's been really good. Avengers #1 and 2 were great. Venom #1 was exceptionally well. Immortal Hulk, I really enjoyed. Doctor Strange, I liked. I'm really liking what Marvel's doing right now. I'm really excited for some books coming up. Spencer on Spider-Man, Slott on Iron Man, Coates on Captain America. But right now, like their line, I think is super, super solid. You get Donny Cates in there. You got really some interesting things are happening over in the X books. And I think we're going to get a whole lot more development from people like Ed Brisson, Kelly Thompson, and Matt Rosenberg through X books and, of course, in the outer Marvel stuff. So I'm really, really pumped with where Marvel's going right now. CB Cebulski had a really shaky transition period there, but I really think that what was off course has been corrected, but we really won't know anything until they really get their first big event going and seeing what happens there, right? So, but right now, I love it. I'm thinking it's great. Oh, man. You guys got beyond me here. Where am I? Oh, no, you didn't. David says he liked Last Jedi too. I know a few people that liked it. I mean, I liked it. I know a lot of people that don't like it. You know, like Jelani, who does Movie Monday with us, didn't do the Han Solo video with us because he's so just mad about that movie. And so, you know, we did it. We all enjoyed the Han Solo movie. We really did. I was talking to Jelani about it. He said, like, that seems interesting, but I just didn't want to support Star Wars or what they were doing. So to each his own, you know. I don't like the Transformers movies, so I don't watch them, but I don't gripe about them all the time either. But it is what it is. L-Dub says L-Dub says L.W. Allen is his favorite color. You know what, though? I'm not even kidding. This cat is becoming a really good colorist. Lance, you're doing great work. Seriously. Harris decided to leave the studio. So that's what's going on there. David Crone says Laura Allred. Absolutely. She does amazing work on the Mike Allred stuff. Does a great job. Laura Martin is another Laura in the comic book industry that does a great job coloring comic books. Funny books, as we call them. Let's see here. Missed Infidel. Need to check for trades. Infidel is just going to only be like 5 or 6 issues, so it'll be one trade when it's all said and done. If you're not averse to digital comics, you can check it out and find it there just to read it and check it out. Otherwise, get online. I think maybe the first issue's gone up maybe a little, like a smidge, but not too. I don't think it's gone. I don't think it's had too much movement like that, but they have sold out. But there should be subsequent printings or that trade paperback when it comes out. So it only have like 2 or 3 more issues. I do not know how long the current Marvel 2-in-1 is going to go. They are definitely getting a second arc, so that would lead me to believe 12 issues plus the annual. It seems like it may be in danger from that point forward just because the Fantastic Four are back. And it seems like some of the interest has died off of that book, which sucks because that book is amazing. Seriously, Chip Zdarsky is doing such a brilliant job on Marvel 2-in-1 right now. I'm really excited for what Dan Slott and Sarah Pichelli are going to be doing on FF, but I'd rather have Zdarsky doing it right now, to be honest with you. But it'd be great to have both books going on for a while, but we'll just have to see. If it sells, they'll keep it around. But my bet right now is like 12 to 18 is what I think. Robert says, very excited about the direction Immortal Hulk is going. I am too. I liked that one. I dug it a lot. It stuck with me throughout the week too. Stephanie says she reads one from Aftershock called Second Sight by David Hine. Huh. I haven't read that book. I haven't even heard of that. Second Sight. Highly recommend it, but doubt we will see any additional books put out after Initial 6. Aftershock has been doing some really good books. My favorite book over at Aftershock is Dark Ark. That's an amazing book. I really like Baby Teeth. I think it started off slow and kind of just normal and average. Really cranked it up hard, and I really like what's going on over there. Donnie Cates is writing that one. But Aftershock's doing some good stuff. Yeah, David, the new Venom's awesome, wasn't it? And he had some mad eyebrows. What's up, Grateful Jeff? Saw your comment earlier today. How are you doing? You had me for a second think you were Jeff Johns. But there's some interesting ideas about the Joker you had there. X-Men Classified, we have no idea what it is yet. No idea. No writer, no artist, no team, no direction, no whatever. Nothing. We know nothing. Is that smart marketing? I don't know. A lot of people think it's kind of like a new Uncanny. But I think if they're going to launch a new Uncanny, they would do it. I think it might be. I don't know. I have no idea. They're really building up this extermination thing, though. This is whatever they're doing is basically going to end the current like direction for the X books and kind of fresh start it again. That's what I think. And they need it. What's up, Tony? He made it. Thanks for being here. Ruben says he loves Francisco Martina and Gabriel Delato. Oh, dude, Delato's stuff has been fire lately. Everybody going crazy over those variants. It's nuts. I'm going to go check my messages real quick because we got a fan, a member of the PCP Army, Brett, who sometimes does not get, he can't comment for some reason. I don't understand why. Yes, wow. Brett's there. So we're going to check your messages real quick here, Brett. I think Doomsday Clock will go down as one of the best maxi series of all time. A joy to read. Lloyd, I want to agree with you. We shall see what happens, but so far, I'm digging the hell out of it, man. I think it's great. I think it's deep. I think it's rich, and it's actually more about the DCU than the Watchmen. Like the Watchmen are sometimes the least interesting thing about it, and I think I read that in a review or an article. So don't think that that's my idea, but I read that and I was like, that makes a lot of sense. Like the Watchmen aren't even the most intriguing thing about what's going on in the story anymore. And I love that. I think it's so awesome. Lance, yeah, me too. I'm so pumped for that annual. That's out this week, I think. We're actually about to get back to what is coming out this week in comics. But yes, Declan Shalvey on that one. Oh, that's going to be amazing. That's going to be good. Ruben likes Baby Teeth. That's right. Thoughts on the Batman Catwoman wedding? Think it'll happen. I thought that Tom King would pull something tragic to happen at the last minute. I still think that would happen. What if it was all a con by Selina? That would be terrible. The Joker's involved. They're not going to kill Selina. They're not going to kill Bruce. What are they going to do? I have no idea. I'm actually excited to see what actually goes down in Batman 50. Tom King's kind of winning me over on Batman. He really is. I'm starting to really... I went back at one point, I reread a lot of his stuff, of his Batman run, and it seemed to make more sense to me. And I kind of thought I got the impression of what he was trying to do. And I've been enjoying that book ever since. Let's see, Brett, what's going on here? He said Zdarsky is killing it lately. Yes, he is. And he's excited about the new Conan books coming out. Yeah. Rock on. It's Ralph Macchio, not the actor from Karate Kid, but an editor at Marvel, former editor. I don't think he works there anymore, but he's been consulting with them on the Conan books because he was an editor on the Conan books back in the day. And he's basically revealed in a recent podcast somewhere that they're working on 3 Marvel Conan books for 2019. 3 of them. Stephanie wants to know my top 4 current books. She says Batman, Kill or Be Killed, Descender, and Black Hammer are hers. Current, that's gonna be hard on the spot. I gotta think about that for just a second. Tony, I am drinking a Monkey Nut from Straight to L. It's a brewery here in Huntsville, Alabama, that I'm actually helping develop a beer for this summer. So that's very exciting. My favorite Valiant character is Quantum and Woody, both of them. I really like Shadow Man, but I've never really thought his book was as good as the character could be. And of course, who doesn't like Ninjak, especially that That chromium cover from back in the day. I never played a Shadow Man video game, though. I'm not much of a video game guy. I'm a Mario fan guy. So I don't really know much about that. Stephanie says the wedding is happening. Yeah, it probably is. You know, I heard something that it's actually not going to be Selena Kyle and Bruce Wayne getting married, but it's actually a marriage for Batman and Catwoman. So, like, they'll be in costume and stuff. Seems a little hokey, but a lot of Tom King's Batman run has been hokey, but you got to embrace that, and I really like it. Bad week for bikers and Marvel this week. They got beat up in 3 books. What bikers are we talking about? Chung right now, Jim Chung, who did Justice League #1, and someone earlier, and I forgot to even comment on this, he said Justice League #1 was awesome, and I agree. It took me 2 reads to really appreciate it. There's a lot of setup. There's a lot going on there. I love the Lex Luthor, Martian Manhunter dynamic, but if you didn't like it the first time, read it the second time and see if it changes your view. If not, no, well. Jim Chung is not exclusive to anybody right now, so he could openly work for Marvel or DC. He's been working for Marvel for a very long time, so it seems like he's kind of going to go and focus on some DC work because who doesn't want to draw those characters, right? But he is available to work both Marvel and DC because he's not under contract with either company. Yeah, David, I do work at shop. I am the manager of a comic shop. I am the store manager of a really awesome comic shop, in my opinion. So let's get back to what's coming out here this week. Last we were going to be talking about DC Comics. We got a new Batman Prelude to the Wedding special. Batgirl versus Riddler. Haven't really been liking those guys. Haven't really been liking those. Detective Comics 982 is out. That's going to be a fill-in issue by Michael Morrissey, who is the writer of Wasted Space over at Vault Comics, who had just had issue 2 last week release. And then the Brian Hill stuff starts. So Detective Comics this week, Eternity Girl #4. Visaggio's been doing amazing work on that one. And Sonny Lou's artwork has been fantastic. Flash #48, that's going to keep on with that Flash War story. Intriguing things happening over in Flash, especially related to the old DC Rebirth, all the different, all the crisis type stuff that's going on there, right? Hawkman #1 is this week, guys. And I have heard really good things about Hawkman #1. Immortal Men is out with issue #3 this week. Man of Steel, of course, since it's weekly, is here with issue #3. Mr. Miracle #9 is out this week. Oh my goodness, what a great week for DC, guys. Plastic Man #1 is out this week for Gail Simone fans and fans of E.L. O'Brien. Sideways #5 releases. There's a new Suicide Squad issue, Titan Special, which I think is going to help bridge the gap. Speaking of Brian Hill, Michael Cray #8 is out this week. And Wonder Woman is out this week. A really good week for DC. I'm really pumped, David, for Brian Hitch to be going back to sole art duties. I think it's going to be really beneficial for him and for his work. So I'm really, really pumped for that. Robert, right now I'm really pumped up for some of the upcoming Marvel stuff we haven't gotten yet. Coates' Captain America, Slott's Fantastic Four, Spencer's Spider-Man. I'm really stoked and pumped for that. All the upcoming Justice League stuff's got me very excited. And any new thing from Vault Comics, we got a new one coming out later on called Submerged. Very excited for that. Favorite current comic book, Stephanie? It's difficult. Some of these aren't really, there's so many things I could say, like Injection. Injection is not really quite current. First thing I'm going to say, Royal City. You were talking about Jeff Lemire. Jeff Lemire is a beast, and he's awesome. Descender is definitely one of my favorite comic books, but Royal City is brilliant, and I love it, and it's amazing, and it's so personal and rich and deep. It just blows me away every single time I read it. #2, Maxwell's Demons from Denise Camp and Vittorio Astoni. Seriously, such a great, complex, simple, imaginative story about a young boy and his imagination. It gets deep, and it's got some crazy sci-fi concepts that they just throw away like nothing. #3, The Wild Storm by Warren Ellis and John Davis Hunt. I love this grounded take on the extreme 90s-ness, all ripped out from the Wildstorm universe. So you got the Wildcats, you got Skywatch, you got IO, Wetworks, you got all this different stuff going on, but it's all grounded in a Warren Ellis sci-fi reality that's so cool and cutting edge, and I love it. And I think it's got some of the greatest action scenes, period. And then I got to pick one more, and I'm going to say one more book Mr. Miracle. Mr. Miracle's fantastic. Tom King, Mitch Gerrits. Is there a better book on the rack right now than Mr. Miracle? Ultimately, I don't think so. I think this is going to be something we talk about for decades to come. This is Watchmen. This is Dark Knight Returns. This is Squadron Supreme, because that's, to me, one of those type of books. This is one of those books we're going to talk about for a very, very long time, in my opinion. Tony, I do not lean more towards any company. I like overall, I seem to like DC a lot because I like their characters. They're godlike, mythological, but really respond well to Marvel. My favorite comic book and characters of all time are the Fantastic Four and Von Doom. So I like both I like both companies pretty much equally. So there you go. I tend to like big DC crossovers more, though, because I like the big cosmic crossover crisis type stuff. So if I had to pick one, I'd probably pick DC, but I couldn't get rid of Fantastic Four at all, or Spider-Man, or Daredevil, or the X-Men. Like I just love it all. Superheroes are my jam. But maybe I lean more towards DC now. When I was younger, I would definitely lean more towards Marvel. Okay, random motorcycle enthusiasts who are beat up in 3 Marvel comics. You know, it's always a bad rap that the bikers get when it comes time for somebody to get their ass kicked in a superhero comic, right? Or a Terminator movie. Oh, Steph, I like your question here. Robbie, let's try another question. If you could see an individual book about any minor character, who would it be and written by who? For her, Beast by Tom King. Do you mean Hank McCoy Beast? Because that would be awesome. That would be super cool. I would go Blade. Blade, written by, I would want Blade written by Donny Cates with artwork by Greg Smallwood. That's what I would want. And I think that's a really good idea. So if any editor at Marvel wants to take that and make that happen, that'd be great. That'd be so cool. Titan special with Kingpin's daughter, possibly? Kingpin? What Kingpin are we talking about? I am not, David, I'm not the biggest Yu fan, to be honest with you. Sometimes I really like his work. Lately, I haven't liked a lot of his work. But what I've seen of the Captain America book, which has been just like you guys have seen from the Free Comic Book Day issue, I like that. It's more like his late 90s, early 2000s stuff. I think that stuff's a little bit better. This stuff's always seemed a little stale, stagnant, and flat to me, unfortunately. He has been doing a great job on those covers, and those covers are seen more in the style that he's going to be doing with this Captain America book. Yeah, Mr. Miracle's a great one. That's such a good one. Ruben, we just had a new video earlier today, the weekly pop culture wrap-up. Basically, the video schedule is on Sunday mornings, the weekly pop culture wrap-up. On Tuesday night / Wednesday morning, the weekly comic book review. We do these live streams here on Sunday nights, Robbie Rants Live. On Monday morning, we have the movie Monday, so that will be up tomorrow morning. Spider-Man 2, we're going to be talking about, me, Jelani, and Brooks. Right now, we're going through the Spider-Man movies, and we're going to be doing Jurassic World's The Fallen Kingdom. We're going to do Ant-Man and the Wasp, and we're doing the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies. So that's what we got coming out there. Every so often, we put up something extra. I have a couple more projects in the works, try to get a couple more videos kind of out there on a regular basis for you guys that are comic book related. Nothing we can announce there yet. We got a lot of stuff in the works. The studio probably going to be moved like soon, and a lot of things are up in the air right now. But I am trying to get 2 more videos, kind of weekly, out there for you guys that are comic book related. I love the comic book stuff, talking to you guys. But yes, Sunday weekly pop culture wrap up and the live streams. Monday movie Monday. Tuesday night / Wednesday morning, the weekly comic book review. That's pretty much our schedule. And we release podcasts as well. So if you want more hours upon hours of hearing pop culture pontification, check out the podcast over at popculturephilosophers.com. Or here on YouTube. We got some of them here. Yeah, Jax, that Blade would be awesome. And yes, Hank McCoy all the way. Oh, I like that. Rachel Cole Alves, written by Greg Rucka. That would be amazing. A Legion book written by Jeff Lemire. That'd be amazing. That'd be really cool. I would. How about a Legion book by Jonathan Hickman? How about that? It almost happened. Almost happened. Almost happened. Well, thank you, David. I'm glad I can be of help. Seriously. I read all these comics, and I just want to, let you guys know what I think about them, to kind of like, there's some things that maybe we wouldn't normally think about that are out on the shelf that are really, really good. And yes, the DC books are going up. They're going up to $3.99. They're going to have to, man. They're going to have to. They tried to hold that line for a long time, and they did for a long time. But they're going to be $3.99. But they're going to be less frequent. Except for Justice League is still going to be twice a month, but I think we're okay with the Scott Snyder Justice League book. By the way, did you guys check out his he's got a YouTube channel, and he's trying to start this new thing. He did a video where he's got an interview with Sean Murphy in there. It's really awesome. It's got a lot of audio issues. It's kind of like up and down in its audio quality. He's just starting out doing this. I think if you haven't checked it out, you should go there and check it out. It's really long. I watched it over like 3 times, but it was really cool. And Scott Snyder just seems like the coolest dude. And he has personally messaged me on Twitter, and he is seriously the coolest dude. So check out his channel. We need more positivity in our YouTube comic book community. But thank you, David. No, aggressively relaxing. I like that name. I did not read both Ant-Man and Wasp ones. I just read the one that was the new series by Mark Waid, and didn't really like it because it felt like they kind of changed the character of Nadia to kind of fit Hope from the movie and to fit that Hope Scott dynamic. And it kind of threw me off a little bit. I really wish they would have got Jeremy Whitley to do that book. And I love Mark Waid. Don't get me wrong. He blew me away on Doctor Strange this week. Tony, is there a Deadpool bubble? I don't know. I thought the Deadpool bubble would have burst years ago, but it just seems to get stronger and stronger. That being said, the new Deadpool book was really good. And I do not really like Deadpool typically, but I like that book really well. So I thought it was cool. Is the Deadpool bubble going to burst? I don't know. Will the Wolverine bubble burst? Will the Harley bubble burst? Some characters I think are just destined for greatness. Deadpool is one of them, I guess. This is a crazy world we live in where, like, it's a crazy world. It's a crazy world. Deadpool, man. Deadpool's a movie star. That's crazy. That's crazy. Those of us who knew Deadpool back in the early 90s never would have thought that ever. But that being said, the new issue was really good. Brian Posehn and Gary Duggan had a really decent run there. For a little bit, I fell out of it. Daniel Way, actually, I read his Deadpool for a good long while. I come across as a big Deadpool hater, but I've read a lot of Deadpool. The Christopher Priest, Joe Kelly stuff, though, back in the day, that stuff's gold. It really is. It really is gold. Yeah, Lloyd, the whole Hulk thing in Civil War, that's weird. Apparently, it was a cosmic cube fake thing. I don't know. It wasn't the real Hulk. Whatever. The important thing is that the real Hulk is back now, I guess. But that new Hulk book was great. Well, thank you, Ruben. Thank you so much. I agree with you, Lance. His style works better on certain things, but his style shifts. It depends, too, and he has different inkers that come on. Sometimes I think his stuff, when it's looser and more rough around the edges, works so much better. But when it tries to get too clean and defined, that's when I don't like it. That being said, he did a really good run on Wolverine with Warren Ellis called Not Dead Yet. Really good stuff. Hickman by doing Guardians, that would be cool. That'd be cool. That would be cool. I'd rather see him do the X-Men, but I know he hates the X-Men, but that's why I think he would do a great job with the X-Men, because he hates them. Seriously. It doesn't sound great. Hickman doing Green Lantern would be awesome, but Grant Morrison doing Green Lantern, I'm more pumped for that. I hope that rumor proves to be true very, very soon. Thank you for reminding me, Stephanie. We're about to get to the Marvel Comics of this week. Yeah, thoughts on the upcoming Thor? How long can Aaron sustain his amazing long run? This is the final act of his Thor run. He has stated that. So Act 1 is God of Thunder. Act 2 is Mighty. Act 3 is Thor. So this is the final bit of it. This is it. But I think it's going to sustain all the way to the end, and I'm pumped. And I do believe that comes out this week. We're about to find out. Just watch Thor Ragnarok. You know, the first time I watched Thor Ragnarok, I was really like uppity about it and didn't like it. It's like, it's too funny. It's not serious enough and all this, blah, blah, blah. When I watched it again right before we did the Movie Monday review, when we did our MCU rewatch, I loved it. And Jeff Goldblum is one of the reasons why. Amazing. I'm liking Harbinger War 2. I'm liking it a lot right now. Really, really good. Hulk was great in Ragnarok. Hulk was great. Yeah, I think they allowed Jeff Goldblum and Guardians, Benicio del Toro, just to be whatever they wanted to do for the Collector and the Grandmaster. And I loved it. I think it worked great. Upcoming Marvel Comics for the week, guys. Deadpool Assassin #1. That one is going to be, I think, Cullen Bunn, but Mark Bagley. So Mark Bagley is a fantastic artist. That was a book he was telling me about when he was here in town in February. Domino #3 is out this week. That means Gail Simone's got 2 big titles out this week. Hunt for Wolverine is the Adamantium Agenda #2 out this week. Exiles #4 is out. Saladin Ahmed's been doing a great job on the new Exiles book. Super pumped for that. Dark Hawk #2, the Infinity Countdown miniseries, that is out. Marvel Rising Alpha #1 is out this week. That Marvel 2-in-1 that we were talking about earlier is out this week. New Mutants #4 is out this week. I'm loving what Rosenberg's doing with that book. Old Man Logan #41, Spectacular Spider-Man 305, the second issue of Quicksilver, the new issue of Punisher, that's 226, loving that one. The final issue of Jonathan Hickman and Dustin Weaver's Shield is finally here. Holy cow. Finally. Thrawn #5, Darth Vader #17, Thor #1, that's right. Super cool. Venom #2 is out this week. Oh my goodness, guys. And The Weekend Presents Starboy #1. That's out this week. There's going to be some good stuff out this week, guys. It's going to be a good week. I'm excited. Venom, that's the one I'm probably the most excited for right there. Man of Steel, too. I'm loving what Bendis is doing on that book right now. Really am. This one right here. That's from the Spider-Man animated series. I love this figure. I loved it when I was a kid. I bought it with the full intent on opening it, and I've kind of gotten into a habit recently of not opening my toys, which kind of makes me want to get another one of these open. But I remember this figure. It was so big and beastie, and it's heavy, and I like it. So that's what that is. So there's that. Thank you for noticing my toys, man. I am a big sucker for 80s and 90s superhero toys, guys. Secret Wars, Superpowers, all the Toy Biz stuff, the Kenner stuff for Batman. Love it. Love it so much. So much. That's why, if you notice in the videos, I have an Arnold Mr. Freeze action figure. Why not, right? Why not? If it's cheap enough, why not? I read Weapon H, and I thought it was all right. And, you know, the idea of the Hulk Wolverine is kind of neat, but I think it's just an idea that shouldn't last too long. Does that make sense? I think Damage is a better book, but the Mortal Hulk is better than both. One issue in. Steph, I have no idea why Greg Land consistently gets X-Men books. I am not a Greg Land fan whatsoever. I guess because he meets his deadlines. If I had to figure, and people still buy books because of him. But I don't like saying negative things, but like seriously, I'm not a big Greg Land fan. I'll say that. Yeah, Jax, I love Venom too. I loved him back in the day. We got some exciting Venom stuff coming up here on the channel. So, in leading up to the movie, we're gonna. Venom's my dog, and I got something exciting in the works. Venom related. Used to have a huge Transformers collection. That's awesome. All I have Transformers-wise now, I still have Sea Spray, the little tiny one. I had that when I was a kid. It's like the little boat one. I have 2 of him, like a shiny one and a regular one, because I had those when I was a kid. But I got this not too long ago. This is a G2 Optimus Prime. I got this one because, first of all, it's cheaper. Second of all, this is the first Optimus Prime figure I ever had. So I had to grow up with a bunch of GoBots, right? And I loved GoBots. And I didn't have many Transformers, but my cousins and some friends had a lot of Transformers. And I would go over there and play with them all the time. So the first time I ever got an Optimus was G2. So when this became available, I totally got it. Totally had to get it. And that sits, ever since I got it several months ago, it has been on our podcast table ever since. I love that toy. Yeah, Steph, I remember that Peter Parker action figure. I had that too. I don't have it anymore. I got the Logan figure. There's a 2-pack that has the Logan and the Peter Parker. That Peter Parker figure was awesome. I loved the Venom from that Spider-Man line. I love the Goblin. I still got the Goblin over there. I got some of the Venoms and the Carnages over there. That was just a fantastic line of figures, was that initial few waves of Spider-Man animated. But like, I mean, when I was growing up, super early, it was all Secret Wars and Superpowers. And then Toy Biz did the DC line, and that was during the Batman movie time, and that was fire. Then Kenner got the rights. They did the Dark Knight collection, and then Marvel started, doing all these toys with Toy Biz, and oh, man, and it's just sometimes I wish I could like time travel back to a Toys R Us in like 1993. Oh, how cool would that be, man? Jax, I was never the hugest Ryan Stegman fan, but I loved his Venom work. It looked so good. There was something off about the coloring to me, but I'm really pumped to read issue 2. I love the story. And I love his work on that book. Stegman's, it's fantastic. Good stuff. Detailed, highly detailed. It's like a good version of Todd McFarlane. I'm not, whatever. Stegman did Spider-Man stuff. He did Spider-Man during the Superior Spider-Man run. That was a big deal. He did Uncanny Avengers a little bit there with Rick Remender, I think, during the Marvel Now or something, one of those Marvel Now launches. But before that, what I really mostly remember him on is Spider-Man. I'm sure he did something before that. What was it? He's doing covers right now for New Mutants, and they're pretty good. Yeah, Venom and Old Man Hawkeye is awesome. That was that book's been fun. That book's been really good. Yeah. Amazing Spider-Man 300 is one I've never owned. And I just want a really low-cost copy just to have it. But the introduction of Venom is not my favorite Venom. I didn't really start liking Venom until Bagley. And I told Bagley that. And he told me to F off. I'm just kidding. Thank you, David. Yeah, didn't they used to do, Stephanie, Toys R Us like shopping spree giveaway things back in the day? I always want to be that kid, like a supermarket sweep for kids at a Toys R Us. R.I.P. Right? What's up, Manuel? How you doing, buddy? Thanks for joining us. Yeah, you can. Yeah, I actually do have the Spider-Man 300 True Believers. I have that first and second print. The book was so crazy. People were going crazy over a reprint. Seriously, we had to limit it at my shop. We were like, because people were trying to like buy like every copy we had. We're like, come on, man, this is a reprint, like $1 reprint. That's crazy. Let's see if there's anything else coming up. I am sipping on Straight to L Monkey Knot from Straight to L Brewery here in Huntsville. A fantastic brewery. If you're ever in the area, you should definitely check them out and visit them. They are now located in my former middle school, which is always a trip. I'm helping them develop a beer, a community beer. They got a few different local businesses involved, so I'm helping develop a beer for them for the summer. And so far, I've had so much fun with that project. All right, looks like we got Animosity Evolution number 6 out this week. Baby Teeth number 11 is out this week. Ballad of Sang number 4 is out this week. Bloodshot Salvation number 10. Speaking of some Jeff Lemire book, don't forget to read that one. What else? Deep is what I want to talk about. Vault Comics is doing amazing work right now. If you haven't checked out their titles right now, Maxwell's Demons is amazing. Wasted Space is phenomenal. Vagrant Queen number 1 came out last week. That's good. Cult Classic Return to Whisper. That's a fun book, kind of in the vein of It a little bit. But Deep Roots number 2 is out this week. But the big news also is the second print of number 1. If you checked out the Wasted Space number 1 second prints last week, they kind of parodied and homaged the Crisis on Infinite Earths Death Supergirl cover and the Action Comics number 1 cover. The Deep Roots second printing cover is like a Swamp Thing cover by Bernie Wrightson. So that's really cool too. Deep Roots is really, really interesting. That's a really cool, interesting company. What else is out this week? Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Some comments here. Scofflaw from ATL? What's Scofflaw? I'm very near Atlanta. Is that a beer from there? Is that what that is? What is that? Seeing just a bunch of random stuff. Invader Zim. The Previews World puts all the other titles all just together alphabetically. That's terrible. Because I'm stuck on like 8 different listings for Jungle Fantasy. What the hell? Sea of Thieves. That's a Jeremy Whitley book. Walk Through Hell #2. That's a really good Garth Ennis book. Issue 1 was very solid. So it seems like that's what we got coming out this week, guys. Let me check on some messages from Brett, if Brett's still with us. And McFarlane was a big deal back in the day, and I bought Spawn for like 10 issues. Todd will never kiss and make up with Marvel. I mean, maybe he'll kiss and make up, but he's not going to do anything for Marvel. He has no need to. That dude's made, man. Brett says that he hopes Justice League Dark is really good. I do too. In fact, I was talking about Scott Snyder's YouTube video. In that YouTube video, I have realized that I've been pronouncing James Tynion's name wrong. It's James Tynion. James Tynion. James Tynion the Fourth. That even sounds more like a Game of Thrones character. That's even cooler. And I've been saying it wrong forever. So it's James Tynion. But I hope it's good too. I think it looks good. And Royal City is so good. Great atmospheric piece. I agree with you. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so it's local down in Atlanta. I go to Atlanta I go to fairly often, so I'll check it out. Definitely, man. Lot of hops. I like lots and lots of hops. I'm really not satisfied with a beer unless it burns going down. That's just me. James Tynion the Fourth. Yeah, it's going to be hard to break myself of that habit, though. You know, but when you find out you've been saying someone's name wrong, you just do it. Because I pronounce a lot of names wrong on my show. I guarantee it. I feel terrible about it, but, you know, I just go. His mom calls him JT4. I bet. JT4, like the 4th incarnation of Justin Timberlake. I think it sounds better as Tynion, but I mean, Scott Snyder on his video said James Tynion, so what am I supposed to do? James Tynion the Fourth. I like saying that though. I really do. But I'm really impressed with his work, to be honest. But you guys know that if you follow the videos. All right, we are nearing the end of the live stream, everybody. We have several minutes left. I have not seen Disaster Artist. No, that's the James Franco one about the dude that made The Room or whatever, right? David, I'll say that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Batman crossover, I loved both of them. I loved part 1 and part 2 so much. Seriously. So they're super fun. And Freddie Williams on the artwork, really good stuff. So I highly recommend it. I really do. Really do. Wild stuff. Okay. See, David, going to Wendy's. Well, Wendy's, never mind. I'm not going to do that. We try to keep it PG-13. Anyway, let's see. How do you feel about the new Ghost Rider coming out? I think it will bring him back to awesome stats. What new Ghost Rider are we talking about? I know we got the Cosmic Ghost Rider book coming out, but that's not a Ghost Rider that we know and love, right? I mean, of course, it's going to be a fun miniseries. What are we talking about? Is there a new Ghost Rider book and I don't know about it? Aside from Cosmic, are you talking about Cosmic? I'm looking forward to Cosmic. E3 is a video game thing, right? Yeah, no. I don't follow video games. Yeah, Cosmic Ghost Rider. I'm really looking forward to doing it. Donny Cates, Cosmic Ghost Rider. It's going to be fun. I would like to see Danny get a good spotlight, though, in a series soon. Tony, I try to do these live streams every Sunday at 7 o'clock Central Time. That's when I try to do it. Unless I can't, that's when we do it. And we go over, it's just this. It's so fun. So thank you guys so much for joining us. And it's just seriously me sitting here, drinking a beer, talking comics, pop culture with you guys. You guys watch the new Halloween trailer? Because I've been ragging on this Halloween movie for a while. Because I'm like, if you add it all up, Michael Myers is so old. Like, is it like, what are they trying to do with this movie? Dude, the trailer looked really good. Really good. Looks really good. I'm impressed. So, I am a big Halloween fan. And even I will admit that there are only 2 good movies in that franchise. Maybe 3. I would say 3. I would say 3. 1, 4, H2O. Yeah, I wish they wouldn't have wasted that in the trailer. Seriously, that closet thing, I wish they would not have wasted that in the trailer. It leads me to believe that they have things that are more impressive than that. That's one of the best things about the original Halloween is the way that Carpenter built up that suspense. The way he just came out of that closet in that one scene. It was crazy. Oh, I do hope that this movie is not just homages of scenes from the original Halloween. I hope it does its own thing, but not too much of its own thing like the Rob Zombie stuff. Didn't like that. Didn't like that. She just wants food. Damn, Stephanie. Damn. I think she'll shoot him in the head again, like she did at the end of H2O. No, she cut off his head. That's what she did. She cut off his head. That was crazy fun stuff. Brett said something. Halloween and Spider-Verse both look awesome. Yes, they do. Both of those trailers look amazing. I really am pumped for this new First Man movie. I don't know if you guys watched the wrap up from this morning, but like the trailer is so weird because it's like, bomb, will he make it to the moon? Blam. It's like so dramatic and epic. And I'm like, guys, like, what are you trying to hide? Like, this isn't an alternate take, man. Come on. I liked Halloween Roseanne episodes, but Simpsons has the best. I don't remember specifically any Family Matters Halloween episodes. I should probably get on YouTube soon and check them out. Who's Flat Earth? Club Dread. Yeah, that's a silly one. I love that Pac-Man game that they're playing in Club Dread. I really do. Oh, man, that made me sad thinking about Bill Paxton. That sucks. Man, what about Anthony Bourdain? That sucks, doesn't it? I really liked his show. He seemed like a really cool dude. Seemed like the kind of dude that you would really want to go and have a drink with and experience some new things in a new place with, you know? I don't know. And he kind of invited us to do that with his shows. And I used to watch No Reservations back in the day, and Parts Unknown used to play a lot while I was at the gym. So that sucks, doesn't it? God, it sucks. Yeah, I'm pumped to see Ryan Gosling as Neil Armstrong. I'm a big space fan. Growing up here in Huntsville, especially, like the space program is a big deal, and I really, really like it. Yeah, and Anthony Bourdain wrote comics. Wrote Hungry Ghost, Get Jiro. Yeah, it's really sad, man. It's messed up. Yes, very interesting. My girlfriend started binge watching Parts Unknown the other day because of it. It was a really good show, man, wasn't it? It's another artist that we're really, really going to miss. Really, really going to miss. All right, guys, any final questions or thoughts or anything like that before we wrap up here? This dog needs some attention. She's a good puppy, though. I'll show you one of my Darth Maul action figures because I love Darth Maul. The hooded Darth Maul figure from episode 1. You know, I was talking about that Knights of the Old Republic book earlier. It made me really want to rewatch Phantom Menace. It made me approve your comment, Stephanie, which is odd. I do like wet burritos. We're talking about the actual recipe of the wet burrito. It's good with sauce on the top. It's good stuff. I'll eat them either way, I guess. Other than that, I don't know what that means. Later, Jax. Later, L-Dubs. Thank you guys for checking out the video so much. Be on the lookout tomorrow, Movie Monday, where we'll be talking about Spider-Man 2, and you get to see the developing crush that me and Brooks have on James Franco. So that's exciting to see that blossom. The weekly comic book review will be here, of course, Tuesday evening. So look out for that one. Lots of exciting stuff. We got the PCP Fantasy Podcast about to release. We are now on Patreon, of course, patreon.com/PCP. In fact, if you're a Patreon supporter and you're watching this, the Spider-Man 2 video is ready for you already there. So go and check that out if you are so inclined. We also now have T-shirts available, T-shirts, stickers, mugs, all that stuff. They're over at tpublic.com. There are links in our last few videos. Check it out. And over at the PCP Army page on Facebook. If you haven't joined us there already, please do. We have a lot of fun there. So go on Facebook, find the PCP Army. Also like us on Pop Culture Philosophers. But you get to interact and talk with us on a daily basis there and at the PCP Army. So don't forget about all that stuff. Thank you guys so much for everything. I really do appreciate it. We're going to end the stream now. And as my buddy Holshy would say, end of line.